Hello, everybody. This is Monty Reed and the travel report for April 2018. We are gearing up for a road trip. And in the old days, we used to do 6 cities in 6 days. And so we're gearing up for a road trip around the Thrive Convention. So Thrive Convention is going to be in July, the 19th, 20th, 21st in Provo, Utah. So mark your calendar for that. We want to see you there. If you eat food, if you like food, you're going to want to go to this convention. It's a foodie convention. You can pay $250 at the door. However, I can get you tickets for $119. I currently have just purchased another 5-pack, so I have 5 tickets available for $119. You can let me know. Send me a message, an email to myslamcookin@gmail.com, or you can send me a text. I'm also on WhatsApp, 206-250-5639. And so we have been in contact with some folks in Maryland, in New York, in the Bronx area. We're going to be heading out. So we're just trying to plan out. We usually like to plan things 90 days out. So the convention's in July, so this road trip will probably be at the end of July or in August. And so right now we're just wanting to know if you're interested in having us come out to do a product launch for Thrive Life. Also, I'll be doing some speaking on the life suit development and the new curriculum that we're developing for life suit technology in healthcare. And so Maryland, New York, Arizona, some parts of Texas, Colorado Springs, I've heard, is one of the stops along the way. And Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I miss Calgary, and we're waiting for the snow to melt. We like it up there better in the summer. And so there's quite a few stops along the way. And so right now we're just checking in with folks to find out where they want us to go. And that is always a lot of fun. Now, for those of you who are already Thrive customers, you want to make sure that you change your shipping date for your delivery to tomorrow. That's April 18th, because if you have a delivery already scheduled and you change it to the 18th, then you want to move into your shopping cart all the sale items. And there are some Simple Plate combo kits, 3-packs, and also some Snackies combo kits that are 30% off. And you can order those now or anytime, but on the day of the sale, that is, the other items will go on sale. And there's things that are going to be as much as 50% off. And so you want to make a wish list, check it twice, and move those things into your cart and have them ship on the 18th. And for everybody else, the sale goes live on the 19th. And so why do I say that? Well, there's new products that come out all the time. They just came out with the new crepes. It's actually old, but for some of you, you might not know about the crepes Simple Plate. And for those of you who don't know, what is the Simple Plate? It's a meal kit, kind of like Blue Apron or HelloFresh. But the difference is when you cancel it, it actually cancels. If you pause it, it actually pauses. And it won't automatically start itself up again like HelloFresh does. I've had to cancel that 4 times. I even asked them to delete my account last month, and magically they charged my card and a box showed up. Sorry for the rant. Anyway, this is the travel report. And so we already have plans to go to Arizona, Maryland, New York, Calgary, Alberta, and Colorado Springs. So if you want us to add your city to the stop for the summer, we're looking at August right now, let us know. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing Thrive tasting events, cooking classes, the 5-minute meals classes. We have a couple coming up here in April on the 21st and the 26th. One is at a home down in Spanaway, and one is going to be at the InSpark co-working space Thursday night on April 26th. And of course, for the Thrive News, the big sales, the 19th through the 23rd, that sale's going on starting tomorrow for people with a delivery. And the travel report, one of the things that's really important about travel, I was talking with my son about business because we're looking at, with our Thrive business over the next 12 months, we'll probably have about $300,000 in income. And then the question is, well, what do you do, from a smart business perspective, what do you do with an extra $300,000 in income? And one of the things he wrote down on the piece of paper was 39% tax. And I was like, wow, do you really want to give 39% of that $300,000? That's almost half of it to Uncle Sam. Do you think Uncle Sam's been responsible with the money we've given him? I ask you, do you think Uncle Sam has been responsible with the taxes you've given them? I don't. I really think that we should vote for limited terms, and I think we should limit a government. And for the most part, whenever there's an opportunity to reduce taxes and fees, I almost always vote down taxes, because I believe that government folks should be forced to treat the budgets the way business owners do. I mean, we've been self-employed pretty much. I've been self-employed since age 7. That's when I started my first candy business. I got my first job at 7 working for my brother delivering newspapers, and I used the dime that he paid me, a dime a day. I used that to invest and purchase candy from a candy store a mile from my house, and that I could sell for 5 cents in my own neighborhood. And I actually hired other kids from the school. I had a little army of candy salespeople. And of course, my mistake in my candy business was adding gum, because gum, oh no. Kids got caught chewing gum and they said, I got it from Monty. So, I was also talking to my son about how in business, failures is actually a way that you fail to success, because if you learn from those failures, then things get better. And so what we talked about was $300,000. What are you going to do with an extra $300,000? And that's conservative. We looked at the sales that I have lined up for the next 12 months. That's $300,000 if I only get the 2% override. That's because we have so many sales coming in, I can't handle it all, so I'll be handing off some of those accounts to my top Thrive consultants. And because I just don't have the time to process all the orders. But the orders that I do process, I'll get 10% of that. So if I got 10% of that, instead of 300,000, it'd be $1.5 million for next year. But I know I can't process it all. So we'll be handing off some of those orders to our downline. And our downline consultants, when they process the order, they get 10% in cash and 10% in free food, and we get a 2%. So we are conservative. We decided that let's just look at conservatively. If we continue at this pace in this year, we'll have a taxable income of $300,000. So do you really want to get 39% to the government? I don't. So the reason why am I bringing this up on the travel report? The reason is, if you have a legitimate business expense and you use the money for your business, then you can deduct that expense from your taxable income. So here's the way it works. We talked about, well, I used to do 6 cities in 6 days when I was building our other network marketing business with Nikan. And so why not spend some money on travel? And so if you, well, actually, one of the things we're going to do is 100,000 of the 300,000, we're going to do some reinvestments into the business. So what happens when you invest that 100,000 into your business, your taxable income now, instead of 300,000, is 200,000. So instead of 39% of 300,000, you only have to pay 39% of 200,000. So that reduces the taxable income. And so the smart business thing to do is expense the income. And so it's okay to have fun along the way as long as that money is legitimately for business. Now, I love to travel, so I will reinvest some of that 300,000 into travel. So 50,000, we'll take 100,000 we're doing into reinvestments into the business. $50,000 is going to go into travel. That's going to pay for airfare, hotels, and then we realize because we need to bring an administrative assistant or a camera person or somebody along, that we should reinvest instead of 50, 100,000. So we'll take 100,000 into business improvements, 100,000 into travel expenses. Now our taxable income is only 100,000. It is that simple, really. And then you've got now 100,000 more So we'll put maybe $25,000 into advertisements, and then another $25,000 into some new computers, cell phones, some new technology for the house, and then some other things. So we're going to reinvest the $300,000 into the business. Now our tax liability or taxable income is zero. Now, I didn't spend the money on a vacation and then try to lie or cheat the IRS and steal that money and travel with it. What I did is I took a legitimate business expense because I'm selling product into Arizona. We have a huge group growing in Arizona, so I need to get on a plane and go to Arizona once a month. And I need to pay for a car, a hotel, airfare, and because you need to expense the money, instead of buying renting the economy car and staying in the cheap Hotel 6, you stay in the fancy hotel. It's $230 a day that has the pool and spa and has the luxury car, and you use Uber or a limousine service instead. And so that way you can write off the expenses. That's the way the smart, wealthy people stay wealthy, is they expense the income. I learned this from a mentor decades ago. Bev Hanson was one of my mentors, and he said that it's not really about the money that you make or even the money you keep, but the smart business choices is the money you expense. And so I will be purchasing an airplane for our business. I'll also purchase a membership in NetJets. NetJets is a subscription service. You pay $100,000 a year and you get so many man hours on an airplane. And the beautiful thing about NetJets is if I need to go to Maryland, I simply call them up and say, hey, I need to go to Maryland. And as soon as I can, a limousine comes to wherever I am, picks me up, and anyone else I want. I can throw them all on the fastest airplane. They'll pick you up with a limousine, a helicopter, a small jet, a large plane, whatever they get. You have access to their entire fleet. But I do enjoy flying, and so I'm going to get my own. I was planning on a Piper Cub, but it may be a different one because I met a bush pilot out of Alaska, and he said there's a new aircraft, so I need to test fly it and see. But the nice thing about that is it's not a fun hobby, it's a business expense. I travel all the time, so I need to buy an airplane, and it's going to be $100,000, $120,000 to buy the plane, and then I need to pay for storage of that airplane. There's fuel, there's maintenance. I'm going to pay a mechanic because, yes, I will do the maintenance myself, but I also want to have a trained, experienced mechanic who knows what he's doing and make sure that every bolt and nut on that aircraft is tight and make sure it's safe. And so all of those are legitimate business expenses, and it's one of the ways that you can be smart about your money. So we know that we're going to have an extra $300,000 coming in, and we don't want to pay taxes on it. We don't want to give 39% of it to the government, so we'll just expense it and find ways to reinvest that money into the business. And travel is one of the biggest ones. We'll probably reinvest $100,000 in travel. And so we are going to go work with our new recruits, a huge group growing in Arizona. And we have some folks in Colorado Springs and Calgary and New York and Maryland that we're going to be working with. And that'll be really fun. And then one of the other things that we can do, I learned from Bev Hanson, is you rent a resort facility and you invite your sales team to come out for a retreat. And so the company, Thrive Life, has a trip to Panama that's coming up. And we're going to earn the trip to Panama, but we'll probably add a couple of days to that for any of our team members that win the trip to Panama, where we'll actually stay a little bit longer because I have some friends that live in Panama. And so we'll add to the trip, after we get there, because airfare is already covered. So we just add a couple of days. So if you are planning on winning the trip to Panama, consider blocking out three extra days after the Panama trip for a retreat if you are on our team. And we'll be doing some goal-setting stuff that I've been teaching for decades. And one of the things that I'm pretty well known for is the My Perfect Day exercise. And that's how to take a dream and make it become reality. And just like I did with the life suit and some other amazing things, the horse ranch and all of those things. So, but anyway, I just wanted to talk to you guys today about the travel report and how you can travel the world free by increasing your income and then expensing that income so you decrease your taxable income. This is Monty Reed for the Travel Report. Have a great day.